talk about my book entitled Animal Rights or God's Rights. This is just a brief summary to begin with. It's in an age where environmental issues are at the top of the agenda and where veganism and vegetarianism are rapidly growing like never before. This book is timely. It argues the case strongly against all forms of cruelty to animals and the killing of animals for any reason at all. I look at the environmental impact caused by factory farming and meat eating. Though concern for the environment, climate change and conservation are not my main interest, but the recognition amongst environmental campaigners that meat eating is part of the problem is a catalyst in the stepping stones to a meat-free society. What lies behind my book is a lifelong passion and love for animals. And it is an expression of grief and anguish concerning the killing of animals for any reason. I begin the book by discussing the status of animals, whether they feel pain, whether they have rights, whether they are sentient beings, how we should value them beyond mere commodities to be used and abused, usually for sport, clothing and profit. I look at how God sees the creatures he created and why he created them, with reference to biblical verses. My primary reason for writing is to call us all to be compassionate towards God's creatures, to partake in the divine nature of a God who extends his love to all of creation. I talk about the sacrifices of the Old Testament and counteract the argument often put to me that the sacrificial system justifies eating meat now. I look at whether Jesus ate fish and lamb at the Passover. The contradiction between Genesis 1 and 9 are looked at, and I question what God's original intention was. The health aspects of meat eating and dairy are explored, and I present the case for a plant-based diet, or at least the consumption of less meat. I look at the realities of fish farming today and the problems that are challenging aquaculture and whether fish are sentient. The use of animals in experiments to test cosmetics, household cleaning agents and for medical research, and the dark and troubling practice of the use of animals in warfare experiments is debated. I reveal the truths about fox hunting and the sinister, little-known aspect of that sport called cub hunting and terrier work. Another pursuit is trophy hunting, a common practice in the US in particular, even in Christian circles, and I question whether we should be participating in such barbaric and cruel sports that involve the killing of God's creatures for fun. Then there is the senseless slaughter of whales, dolphins and seals off the shores of Canada and Japan in particular, though there are glimpses of the industry moving to whale and dolphin watching, attracting income from tourists instead, thanks to the tireless campaigning by animal welfare organisations such as Greenpeace. I expose the extent of cruelty involved in the production of fur for the sake of vanity and ask whether it's morally wrong. I end the book with the restoration of all things, the establishment of God's kingdom, and question whether we are moving into a new season, a new age spiritually. The church has been passive in the last decades, and I feel there's a radical shift happening as we move into a new decade, even a new age, where God's kingdom will be built and his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And of course, there's no killing in heaven. is there? Thank you.